Good morning. Namaste. Welcome back to my back porch for another installment. Today we're going to be doing another short practice, 30 to 40 minutes, that you can either join with another practice that I've put on already and lengthen your personal practice, or you can simply use this as a standalone practice. Yesterday we did a lot of grounding poses, and today we're going to move from grounding to hands and knees, and we're going to incorporate some good back bends, some good twists, so you can feel the body moving and getting looser in the upper body. The twists, all spinal twists, help to break down tight myofascial tissue in the torso and also help to sedate the nervous system. So we're still on that path of trying to calm ourselves down to, just accept where we are and to just look around us and see that it's another beautiful day. It doesn't matter if the sun's out, if it's warm, it's a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. We have this gift that we opened our eyes this morning and we're still here, and that makes it a beautiful day. So perspective is everything in life. If you change the way you look at things, things do tend to change if you just change your perspective on them. So let our perspective be, it's a beautiful day, and we have time to do all those things that we always complain about not having enough time to do. So look around you, see the things that give you joy, maybe gardening, maybe doing some extra stuff in your house if you haven't gotten to, and take your days to do these things and to quiet your mind, have this practice available to you to do as well. So, I'm sorry I'm not seeing you all in person, but I will soon. We'll be back to normal soon. You can believe that. I want you to come down onto your mats and come into child pose. So, you can have your knees together in this child pose, or you can have your knees separated. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm not a detailed person when it comes to those things. So you can just come on down, stretch your arms out in front of you, bring your forehead down to the mat, and then just begin to take several breaths here. As you recall, if you've viewed my pranayama practice, I've encouraged you to do the pranayama practice as you're centering for any of the yoga practices that I put on YouTube. So prior to getting on your mat and beginning movement, doing the pranayama practice would benefit you to get you prepared for your practice, to bring you into the place that you need to be for your practice. And as you're in your child pose here, I want you to hold the child pose, and I want you to breathe into the back body. So many times when we're beginning our practice, we're either sitting or we're on our backs. And although the sensation in the back body can be felt subtly, in this pose you can feel the sensation of the breath in the back body a lot deeper than you would in other positions. So take advantage of that and think about expanding across the top of the back, the space between the shoulder blades. As you inhale, see if you can feel those shoulder blades moving across the body. In the space between the shoulder blades, in the upper back, we have tight fascial tissue. When that fascial tissue isn't stretched or loosened or melted away, as Gil Hedley would say, melting the fuzz away, sometimes it restricts your breath. And we want the breath to be as full as possible at all times, breathing into the space at the bottom of the lungs and stimulating the alveoli to press that oxygen out into the bloodstream, nourishing the muscles, nourishing the body. And so from this child pose, I want you to lift your head, look at your hands, And walk your hands all the way over to the left. And then lower your head to your knee. Press into your right hand and pull your right hand towards you as if you're trying to move it off the mat, but it's glued. Press your left hand away from you. And breathe into the whole right side body. So breathe into the back ribs. Breathe down into that back hip on the right. Let your head rest comfortably, either dangling or forehead on the knee, whatever works for your body. Take 2 more inhales, through the right side body. And then inhale, look up at your hands, and walk your hands back to the middle of the mat. Drop your forehead down. Crawl your fingers forward. And imagine that you're trying to pull the mat toward you, but your hands are glued. And I want you to feel the engagement of the muscles down each side of the spine. And then release the pull. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk your hands over to the right. Drop your head down. Pull the floor towards you with your left hand and press the floor away from you with your right. Breathe into your left side body now and feel that action that's taking place here. You're initially engaging muscles, and then I want you to release the press and the pull and relax and simply breathe into those left back ribs. And then look up and walk your hands back to center. Bow back down. Set an intention for this practice. Whatever intention comes first and foremost into your mind. And then lift your head, walk your hands back toward your knees. Come into hero pose, Virasana. Press down through your tailbone. Lengthen your tailbone down to the ground. Soften your face. Shoulders up to your ears, back and down. Take some deep, full breaths here. Expanding, expanding, expanding on the inhale. Contracting, contracting, contracting on the exhale. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, twist to the right, bringing your left hand to the outer right knee, your right arm behind you. Try not to lean back here, but to keep the spine tall and straight, using the back of that left hand to press against that outer knee. Now just come to your edge here. There's no need to go into a place that is difficult right now. We're just warming up. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Sometimes in twisting poses, breath is a little difficult. Now I want you to hold the twist. And on an inhale, turn your head only to look to the left and down, lengthening through our sternocleidomastoid muscle in our neck. We carry a lot of tension in the neck and top of the shoulders. And then exhale, turn back to look over the shoulder behind you. And let's do our shifty eyes. So shift your eyes to the space behind you. And then shift your eyes to the space in front of you. Shifting your eyes back. Shifting your eyes forward. We have 4 muscles around the eye. We don't do a lot of work with our eyes, but in this pose, you can take that and run with it. You can move those eyes from back to front. And then on an inhale, we're going to come all the way up on our knees, reaching for the sky. Now we're going to go into our camel pose here. So you have 3 options. Your camel pose can have a hand on the hip. You can turn, we'll turn around. You can turn your toes under and reach for the lifted heel, or you can flatten your heels. Flatten your toes and reach behind you. So find your camel pose here. With the right hand, find your holding spot. And lift your heart center. Reach that left arm back behind you. Have a slight curve in your neck, but be careful about dropping your head back too far. Inhale, bring hands to prayer. Exhale, bring prayers to heart. Remember your intention. Take a big inhale here. And on the exhale, let's bring that left elbow all the way over to the right edge of the mat. Turn your prayer fingers to point to your heart center. Have your elbows stacked, one over the other. Use the grounded elbow to twist the body a little more. Taking this into the obliques on the left side of your body, into the lower muscles of the spine, the ones that begin there, the quadratus lumborum, erector spinae muscles. And then on an inhale, sweep up, and on an exhale, let's come down into tabletop pose. Inhale that left arm up, and exhale, thread the left arm under the right arm. Come into thread the needle pose. Hold your thread the needle pose, making sure that your left shoulder is grounded. And then you can take your right arm up, reach for the sky. You can take your right arm to frame your ear here, or you can take your right arm and find the left side of your waist and possibly the top of your left thigh. Keep that top shoulder back out of your peripheral vision. And on your exhale, get heavy on that left shoulder. So in this pose, you're affecting your rhomboid and subscapularis on the left side. So you're getting a good stretch. As I said, we carry a lot of tension in our neck, shoulders, upper back. Take several breaths here. And here in this pose, we bring our heart up higher than our head. We stimulate the thymus and the parathyroid. And in the muscle department, we're getting a nice stretch here for the left side of the neck. Deep cervical muscles, scalenes. Let's unwrap or bring that right arm back up. And on an exhale, let's bring the right hand down on the mat. Inhale, bring that left arm forward and bring the right leg back and come into your kneeling balance. Chakravakasana, bird dog pose. I want you to press down in that grounded right hand. Reach that left arm forward. Reach that right leg back. Straighten that right leg, pulling the kneecap up. Now, to keep these as-is bones level across your body, you might want to turn that right foot, turn the right toes to the space to your left. Engage your belly, engage the floor of your pelvis by pulling the belly button and spine back towards each other and drawing the floor of the pelvis up toward the belly button. So the bandhas are engaged here. Drop that left hand down. Bring that right foot all the way across midline, down to the left, so that you're resting on the little toe side of your left foot. Your inner thighs are squeezed together. And then look over your left shoulder and spot your foot. I want you to squeeze those inner thighs. Squeeze them together. And this stimulates lymph drainage, stimulates the lymph nodes in the inner thigh. And if you want to, you can stay here, or you can choose to lift that left arm and create a balance pose here. Soften your face, soften your jaw. And then on the exhale, bring the lifted left hand down. Let's inhale that right leg up as high as you can get it. Drop your heart to the floor for a cat bow pose. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, let's bring that right foot all the way out to the right. So you have a nice, long, straight leg. I want you to pull your kneecap up and feel the engagement along your inner thigh. Some of the quadricep muscles, the vastus medialis, getting engaged here. Belly button pulled back to spine. Inhale, rise up. I keep hitting my plant. Exhale, let's go into gate pose, bringing our right hand down, lifting the left arm as if there's a root here in the waist, and then riding that left arm, bringing it across, driving it over towards the right, breathing into the whole left side of the body, stretching through the intercostal muscles between the ribs, stretching through the internal and external obliques. And then we're going to windmill. Bring that left hand down, bring the right arm up. Let's strengthen our abductor here by lifting that right leg up. And then let's bring that right heel to the buttocks and get a good quadricep stretch. Draw that right shoulder back. Draw that heel towards your buttocks. Press that right hip bone forward. Soften your face, slight smile. And then release. And then we're going to windmill back down. Bring that right hand down, right leg back, left arm forward. Head and neck are in line with your spine, so your gaze is straight down at the mat. You're not dropping your chin to your chest here, but the crown of your head reaching toward the space right in front of you. You got a win today. And then drop your right knee down. Drop your left hand down. And come into child pose. And take a moment to experience the sensations that you're feeling in your body after that little flow that we just did. And then we'll move to the other side. Taking a good deep breath in, I want you to exhale and come into cat pose, pressing your upper back toward the ceiling, toward the sky, shaking your head yes and no. Inhale into cow. Into puppy stretch. Inhale into upward dog. And today we're going to put our toenails on the floor and lift our knees, drawing our sternum up toward our throat and our belly button down toward our pubic bone. And on an exhale, we're coming back into our hero pose. This is the beginning of the other side of the flow. So take a moment here, see if you can notice any differences in the body. And then on an inhale, we're going to sweep up. And on an exhale, we're going to twist to the left. So again, you're going to have that left hand behind you, maybe close to your back so that you can hold yourself up and be nice and tall. You're going to have the right hand on the outer left knee and press yourself into your twist just until you feel the resistance here. Breathe. I want you to turn your head only to look to the right and down. And I want you to breathe into the space from the back of your ear all the way down to your collarbone. This is your sternocleidomastoid, your SCM muscle. Originates at your mastoid bone behind your ear and attaches to your sternum and your clavicle. your collarbone and your sternum. And then inhale, look back across the left shoulder behind you and begin to shift your eyes forward and back. Forward and back. Forward and back. And then inhale, let's come back to center. Come on to your knees. And on an exhale, turn your toes under, find your hip, find your heel, and reach into your camel pose. So this right arm, reach back behind you. You have a slight curve to the front of your throat. You're not compressing the back of the neck, so don't drop your head back so far. Now I want you to think about shining your heart space on the sky. And then inhale, let's bring that left hand up to meet the right. And on an exhale, we're going to bring our right elbow onto the mat, over to the left side. Point your prayer fingers towards your heart space. Press your prayer hands together and twist that body. And then breathe. Feel the underside of the body. Feel the upper side of the body. As you breathe into it, notice where the breath goes. Try to keep your crown reaching forward and avoid dropping your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, come up, and exhale to tabletop. Inhale, right arm lifts, and exhale, right arm threads under left, right cheek, right shoulder on the floor. Get comfortable here, bringing the weight of your body more onto that right shoulder. And then you can take your left arm and find your spot, either lifted, framing your ear, or finding the right side of your waist or the top of your right thigh. Breathe and thread the needle pose. When we do poses like thread the needle, we bring the energy of the heart into play. So it's a heart chakra pose. We've already talked about stretching along the scapula on the right side. We talked about the subscapularis, and we talked about the rhomboid. That's all happening as well. The SCM on the right side, that's happening too. But in the philosophical part of your yoga practice, we tend to live by our thoughts. Of course, our life is created by those thoughts. When sometimes we should consider our feelings more than what we're thinking. So this is a heart-centered pose. Heart close to the ground. Heart just a little higher than the head here. And then let's bring that left hand down, right in your peripheral vision here. Spread your fingers wide on that left hand. Inhale, bring that right arm forward, bring that left leg out, and come into your kneeling balance here. Again, straightening the back leg, reaching the front arm forward, drawing the belly button back toward the spine, pulling the floor of the pelvis up, perhaps turning that left foot, the toes. I'm getting beat up by my mat. Breathe and hold, strengthening the core. And let's bring that right hand down and take that left leg all the way across midline down to the right, resting on the little toe side of the foot, turning to look over that right shoulder, spot your left foot, squeeze your inner thighs together, And then on an inhale, if you choose, you can take the right arm up, squeeze those inner thighs, working with the lymph system here. Remember, it has no pump, so you have to move, squeeze, gravity and movement. Move that lymph through your body. Exhale, bring that lifted right hand down. Inhale, take that left foot all the way out to the left, and then begin to pull this kneecap up to engage along your vastus medialis and along your adductor, your inner thigh. Inhale, sweep up, and exhale, let's come into gate pose, reaching. And then let's come to the other side. So here on this side, we can stay right here, or we can choose to lift that outer leg. Then we can bring that left heel towards your buttocks. Press that left hip forward. Draw that left shoulder back. Breathe. And then extend back out. And windmill your way back down to kneeling balance. Bring that right hand down. Lift that left leg up and come into your cat bow. Inhale up. And exhale, bring that left knee down and come back into your child pose. And soften around any of the hard edges you're feeling. Breathing. And beginning to experience sensation in your body. The sensation of movement of blood, the sensation of heat in the muscles. And then taking a nice big inhale here. Exhale yourself into cat pose. Inhale yourself into cow pose. Turn your toes under and come to sit on your heels here. One of those poses that I look out into my class and I see people grimacing because it hurts. If you have anything available to you like a block or a cushion from your couch, you can also put that underneath your knees so that you're not quite as strained in this pose. Bring your fingertips to the mat and roll yourself back and come into a squat with your knees together. Now you can stay right here in your squat, or you can come into hands. Hopefully you are. The wind isn't blowing quite so bad, but it's wonderful. It's just absolutely beautiful out here today. And if you have a low center of gravity, you're close to the ground, what you can do here is simply drop back and come into your upward boat, Paripurnanavasana. Hold. Breathe. If you find a good focus and you breathe and you allow your body to accept this shape, rather than in your mind thinking how difficult it is for you, it really will help. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together. You can draw your heels in as close. I'm going to scoot up so that my mats won't roll on top of me. Let's scoot those heels in just as close as is comfortable for you. And again, if you have a blanket that you can put under your sits bones, that might assist you in keeping that spine straight. So breathe here in your bound angle, holding on to your toes, clasping your fingers around them, or just simply holding on to the fronts of your toes, the fronts of your feet, and rising up through the crown of your head. And if you choose, begin to lean forward. Now this is a lean and not a rounding. So imagine a rocking chair. The back of the rocking chair rocks like this and not like this. So as you come forward with your flat back. Breathe into the space where you feel the most resistance. You might feel it here in your adductors. You may feel it in your lower back. Be very careful here with your lower back. We don't want to put too much pressure on the lumbar spine. That's why I say lean forward first and get you out of the danger zone where you're tending to put too much pressure on the lumbar spine. And then if you feel okay in your lower back and you want to, after you get to the point of resistance with the flat back, if you want to begin to round here, then round to the point where you feel the resistance again. I want you to concentrate and focus your awareness on your inner thighs. And then I want you to take a deep breath. And notice how the breath creates additional opening in the inner thighs. And then slowly rising up, butterflying those knees a few times. And then let's lengthen those legs out, touch the big toes together. Bring your hands behind you with all 10 fingers pointing forward to the front edge of your mat. Lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and on an inhale, lift your hips into reverse plank pose, stretching out those hip flexors, sort of counterposing to our upward boat and our bound angle. And then slowly releasing down. And coming back into staff pose, Dandasana. And from here we're going to move into head to knee pose. And one more twist. And then we'll call this the second addition to our yoga practice. You can marry it to the first one I posted, or you can do it simply on its own. So let's come into position for Janu Shirshasana, head to knee pose. Scooting back again. Bring your left foot, or right foot, I'm sorry, into your inner left thigh. Let's flex that left foot and find your sits bones. If you're not sitting directly down on those points, put something underneath of them so that you can lift those hips just a little. We're not using props here because a lot of people don't have them. But if you do have a necktie or a belt that you want to use, you can place that around your foot and use that. But that holding, that prop, isn't meant to pull you forward. The prop is just somewhere to hold your hands. You can also just hold your hands on either side of your knee or on your shin. And again, we're using the rocking chair analogy. So take a deep breath in and get really tall. And on the exhale, we're going to lean forward. Now, when you lean forward, you're not jutting your chin out here. You're keeping your chin level over your sternum. Your back is nice and flat all the way down. You're bent, but the back is flat. The spine is long. And you're breathing. And you're not using your hands to pull you forward just as a place to hold a reference point here. Breathe. And keep doing this with the flat back. Because if you stop and breathe, sometimes the body will release a little more because it's not fearful of you pushing past a point. So you move to your edge and you stop and you breathe. And then if you examine the lower back and you're not feeling any sort of pinching, any sort of tingling sensation, then you can begin to round down. And if your head does not reach your knee, then we don't need to worry about it. We just need to stop where we feel the restriction. It may be in the right side back, it may be in your hamstring on that left leg. Again, you just inhale and exhale, and with each exhale, you determine whether or not the body will lower any further without pulling yourself. Just allowing. There's no place in yoga for force. It's all about allowing. Where does your mind go when you're not listening to words? Try to keep it focused on where you're finding the sensation in this pose. On an inhale, look past your toes. So you're lifting your head to look past your toes. And then think about shining your heart space right on the front of your foot. This lengthens your spine again. Drawing your belly button back towards your spine. Walk your hands back. And then draw that right foot across your left thigh. Here you have the left leg extended fully. I'm going to tell you to keep it there so that both sits bones stay grounded. With no props, it's better to have the sits bones on the floor. Then you're going to take your left arm and you're going to wrap it around that right knee and rise up. Rise up. Take your right hand behind you. The heel of your hand, bring it close to your glutes, close to your back. And then begin to twist again. And breathe into this twist. Lots of twists and back bends in this practice. So you know what twisting does for you. I've expressed that earlier. Twisting helps to sedate the nervous system and break down tight myofascial tissue in the torso. But back bends also affect the kidneys, flush them, and condition the adrenal glands. We've done quite a bit of twisting today. And when we work with twists, we also stimulate some of the meridians that benefit our immune system. And then we're going to come back to center. You can stay right here, or if you choose, you can bring that left hand down and rise up, extending that right arm forward, and back down. And let's come back into staff pose and take a moment here and feel the differences in the right and left side of the body. And then let's come into position for Janu Shirshasana on the right leg. Again, left foot into inner right thigh. A little trick, if you have tight hamstrings and you don't have a prop to put underneath the back of your knee, you can take the ball of your left foot and bring it underneath the back of your thigh. And that gives you a little lift so that you don't overstretch the hamstring if your hamstrings are tight. If you're a runner, tennis player, whatever. Otherwise, your foot goes the inner right thigh. And again, we turn our bodies toward that right leg. Get the spine long. And on the exhale, lean forward. Find that lean, keeping your chin level over your sternum. Breathing, softening your face and your jaw, let it be loose. Slight smile on your face. Breathe into the lean. So you're leaning. The inhale may be taking your crown up toward the sky, and then the exhale bringing you into a little bit more of a lean. And paying quite a lot of attention to your lower back and paying attention to your hamstring here. Point of resistance, meet it, breathe into it. And once again, you can stay right here. If you feel okay, the back feels okay to round, then you can begin the process of bringing the head to the knee. And stopping when you feel the resistance, breathing into that resistance. Moving your way down towards your knee and allowing your body to stop when it finds its edge. Breathe into the edge, soften your shoulders. And then on an inhale, look past your toes. Shine your heart space on the front of your foot. And walk your hands back, back. Draw that left knee up. And cross that left foot over the right thigh. Now when you have that foot crossed over, try not to rest it on its side, but to bring it flat. Wrap your right arm around that left knee and get yourself nice and tall first. Really tall, as if my hand is on the crown of your head and you're trying to push my hand away. And then take your left hand behind you, fingers pointed away from you, inner arm bracing the side of your spine. And then begin the twist. So the inhales take you tall in the saddle. Bring your crown up toward the sky. And the exhales take you into the twist. And of course, we twist from the waist, through the ribs, through the chest, and lastly through the head. And we breathe. And you feel, as you pull that left knee in, you might feel a little stretch running up into the glute around the piriformis muscle. And then letting go of the twist, coming back to center. You can stay right here. Bring the right hand down and lift. And come back into your easy sit position. And let's do a little Sufi grind here. Let your head and your neck move with the torso. And feel yourself rolling across those sits bones underneath of you. Beautiful sound of the wind in the bushes and trees, the sound of the chime in the background. Know that this day is just made for you. Reverse these circles. And then stop in the center. None of these practices are rehearsed. Just putting my mats out here and I'm practicing and talking to you. So there may be mistakes. There may be the noise of life outside, but it's me that's practicing with you. I feel like if you're clicking on this and wanting to practice, you don't want a version of me, a rehearsed version of me. You want the me that you see in class. And this is who's here. You know, wind, mats, hair, whatever. We're all just in this together. and we're going to get through it together. So I want you to end your practice here, coming into your Shavasana. And remember, your Shavasana can last as long as you choose for it to last. At the very end, I will perhaps do a guided meditation that you can add and string along with these other practices to complete a practice of your own. But right now, we're just going to come down slowly, slowly. And find that Shavasana that works for us. Arms slightly away from the body. Legs slightly apart so that we form that pentacle shape. And from there, taking 3 deep, full fall-out breaths. Inhaling to the top of your lungs and exhaling with a ah. 3 times fall-out breaths. And then simply allowing your jaw to be relaxed here in your Shavasana. Teeth, lips slightly parted, cheeks soft, eyes resting in the back of their sockets. No engagement in your body, just softness. Breathe, relax, feel, watch, and allow. This is your practice. Take as long as you can in your Shavasana. And I will sign off now. I'll see you again another day. Look for these practices, not just from me, but from other teachers. Enjoy this beautiful day. May there be peace in your life, peace in your hearts, peace in your homes, peace in the world.